We are ready for NFL picks for week number 8 in the league where they play. I said in the league where they play. In the league where they play. For pay! And let's get right to it. We are in week number 8 already as the NFL season is flying right by. 4 teams with a bye this week. The Atlanta Falcons have a bye off the win against the Giants last night. Atlanta up to 3-4. They have a lot of road games the rest of the year, so we'll keep an eye on that. Tennessee down to 3-4. They've lost 3 in a row. Missed a 2-point conversion against the Chargers at the end of the game. Left a lot of points on the board there in London, so Tennessee has dropped 3 in a row. The LA Chargers also with the week off this week. They are up to 5-2. I just mentioned they hung on and beat Tennessee in London. Chargers will get Bosa and Gordon back soon, so the Chargers look like a very solid team. They're finding ways to win games that they used to lose, so the Chargers look like they're doing some good things this year. Dallas also off this week. They are down to 3-4. Lost a tough game to Washington. They take the penalty at the end and miss the field goal. They do get Cooper from the Raiders. I like that move for the Cowboys. They give up a number 1 pick, but Cooper is a young, solid receiver. Dallas desperately needs some more firepower. So Dallas down to 3-4, but they get Cooper and they have the week off as well. All right, let's get right to it. Let's get to the Thursday night game, and let's hope the Thursday night game is better than the last 2 Thursday night games where, remember, the Giants got blown out by Philadelphia. Arizona got blown out by Denver. Arizona didn't even show up last week. We'll get to them in a second. This game should be a little better. You have the Houston Texans at home, -7 against the Miami Dolphins. Dolphins down to 4-3, lost to Detroit. Tannehill's still out. The Dolphins have now lost 3 of 4, so they're starting to go the other way. New England has passed them in the division. Houston, how about them? They're 4-3. They've won 4 in a row. They beat Jacksonville on the road, and Houston is in first place. Do you believe it? Do you believe the Texans are in first place? Just, 3-4 weeks ago, Jacksonville laid it on New England. Houston was struggling, didn't even have a win, and here we are a few weeks later. The Texans have won 4 in a row. They're in first place, and Jacksonville's going the other way. And by the way, at the beginning of the year, I told you I thought the Texans would be a good team this year. I said they was my surprise team. They got off to a slow start. They're starting to put some things together. So the Texans in first place. Texans -7 here at home against Miami. To me, again, 2-team teaser. You move the line down to 1. You got to take the Texans here. The Texans are hot. The Dolphins are not. The Texans are trending up. The Dolphins are trending down. Dolphins don't even have their starting quarterback. They've lost 3 or 4 games. Detroit kind of pushed them around. I got to like the Texans here. I really do. I mean, I'll take the Texans. I'll move the line to 1, and I'll feel comfortable about that. Texans are pick number 1. Pick number 2, let's go to yet another London game. Yes, let's put a game in London every single week. We have the Philadelphia Eagles -3 against the Jacksonville Jaguars. Jacksonville, I just mentioned them. They are in a free fall. They're 3-4, lost at home to the Texans. Jacksonville now, they bench Bortles. He was playing horrendous. All their receivers are hurt. Fournette is still out. The defense is not playing well at all. Jacksonville is in an absolute free fall, and they can't score. They just cannot score. Philadelphia, they're down to 3-4, blew a 17-0 lead to Carolina at home. Terrible loss by the Eagles. Awful. They had a chance at the end, and they couldn't get in, so bad loss by Philadelphia. They were coming off that nice blowout win in the Meadowlands against the Giants. They have a 17-0 lead. You figure they're going to get some momentum now, and they just let the lead completely slip away to Carolina, lose the game. This is a strange game, but I got to go with the Eagles. The Jaguars can't score. They just can't score any points. I can't feel comfortable with them, and their defense isn't playing lights out like it used to. I cannot trust Jacksonville here. I really can't. Bortles, There are no receivers. Fournette hurt. I mean, Jacksonville's got all sorts of issues. I know Philadelphia's got their issues as well, but Jacksonville looks like they got more issues, and they cannot score. Can't take them. Got to take the Eagles there. That's pick number 2. Pick number 3. Let's go to the Steel City in Pittsburgh, where the Pittsburgh Steelers are minus 7.5 against the Cleveland Browns. Browns down to 2-4-1, lost a tough game to Tampa Bay, came back a couple times in that game, but fell short. Tampa kicked the bomb field goal at the end. Pittsburgh had the bye week. They went into first place on the bye. Pittsburgh 3-2-1. Everyone in front of them lost. Baltimore lost. Cincinnati lost. You look up, Pittsburgh's in first place. That's how quickly things can change in the NFL. We still don't know about the Bell situation. I thought he'd be back this week. Now they're saying, maybe another couple weeks. Who knows about Bell? Who knows about him? Again, this is a perfect game for a teaser. The line is 7.5. In a 2-team teaser, you get 6 points. You move it down to 1.5. Hard for me to think the Steelers are going to lose at home to the Browns. The first game was a tie. The Steelers let that game get away. Steelers are playing better now. They blew out Atlanta. Nice come-from-behind win in Cincinnati. They're in first place. Browns have dropped a couple now. I think the Steelers are going to get through here at home. Perfect game for a teaser. I like the Steelers. That's pick number 3. Pick number 4. Let's go to Soldier Field in Chicago, where the Chicago Bears are minus 7 against the New York Jets. Jets down to 3-4, lost to the Vikings. Bears down to 3-3, lost to New England. They throw the Hail Mary. They come up a yard short. Bears have now lost a couple in a row. Bears defense has not played well the last couple weeks either. I think this is a perfect game for the Bears to get healthy. I said this a few weeks ago when the Jets went into Jacksonville. The Jets were going to struggle. I think the same thing is going to happen here. Darnold did not play well at all against Minnesota. I don't think he's going to play well here. The Bears are going to be desperate for a win. They're home. I think the defense does show up this week and get some things done against that rookie quarterback. I like the Bears here. This is a very good spot for them. Again, that 7 points is just calling out for a teaser. You move that line to 1 in a 2-team teaser. You have to like the Bears to get through here. That's pick number 4. Pick number 5. Let's go to the Meadowlands in New Jersey. Not too far from here, with the Washington Redskins are minus 1 against the New York Giants. Washington 4-2, hung on and beat Dallas. Washington's in first place. Giants 1-6, lost to Atlanta. Oh, the New York Football Giants. Oh my goodness, they are struggling. And what was the coach doing last night at 20-12, going for 2 points? Why do these coaches constantly try and reinvent the wheel? The Eagle coach did that a few weeks ago. He actually made it, but he does a lot of crazy things. Why were the Giants going for 2 down 20-12? Kick the extra point, make it 20-13. Why are you trying to be too cute there? And then I read on ESPN, one of the writers said that was the right mathematical decision in that spot. What? What? 20-12? Now you go for 2? Here's the math I know. 1-6. That's what the Giants are. 1-6. That's the math I know. These division games are usually very close. So I'm going to move the line to 7. I'm going to take the Giants and the home field to at least keep it close. The Giants did cover for me last night. I'm going to go back on them. I know they're very shaky, the Giants. Washington is definitely better. I think Washington probably will eke it out, but these division games are always so close. I'm going to take it and move it to 7, and I get the home field. I think it's a close game either way. I'll take the Giants there. That's pick number 5. Pick number 6. Let's go to the jungle in Cincinnati, where the Cincinnati Bengals are minus 6 against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Bucks up to 3-3 as they beat Cleveland. The Buccaneers have a ton of guys out on defense. Cincinnati down to 4-3. They've lost a couple in a row. They got pasted in Kansas City. I like Cincinnati here. Again, this game calls out for a 2-team teaser. Move the line to pick 'em. You got to think the Bengals at home are going to be able to get some things done against that Swiss cheese Tampa Bay defense. I think the Bengals get a win here. I think they're going to be desperate for a win, like Chicago. I think Tampa is made to order. The Bengals should move the ball all day on them. Bengals will make enough stops on defense. Game will probably be high scoring, but I think the Bengals will get it done at home. Cincinnati is pick number 6. Pick number 7. This is a Monday Night Football game. Well, this is a beaut. With the New England Patriots a -13 at the Buffalo Bills. New England up to 5-2. They beat Chicago. New England really putting some things together now. The offense looks like it's going to be awesome. Still got to get some things done on defense, but New England's going to be a contender again for sure. How about the Buffalo Bills' performance over the weekend? 2-5, lost to Indianapolis, and Buffalo didn't even show up. Allen is out. They went with Anderson. I mean, he was just signed a couple weeks ago. Buffalo was atrocious in that game. Atrocious. I mean, there's no way I'm taking Buffalo here. Allen's going to be out again. Move the line down to 7 and take New England. I think New England's going to roll in this game. New England all day. That's pick number 7. Pick number 8. Very interesting game here. Let's go to the Motor City in Detroit with the Detroit Lions a -2.5 against the Seattle Seahawks. Seattle up to 3-3. They were on a bye week last week, but they pasted the Raiders in London the week before. Detroit 3-3. They beat Miami. Detroit, listen, I was on them. I was really, making fun of them at the beginning of the year. They are playing better football now, Detroit. They are putting some things together. They've won a few games now. They are up to 3-3. That division is wide open. Everyone is within like a half a game. I like the way Detroit played against Miami. They're establishing a running game now. So Detroit, since the awful loss to the Jets in Week 1, playing better football. So let's give them credit. This is a very, very tough game. Very tough game. I'm going to go with Detroit at home to pull it out by a field goal. I think it's a very close game. The case could be made. You can move this line to 8.5 and take Seattle. I don't trust Seattle still on the road. It's a long trip to Detroit. Detroit is playing better. I like Detroit here to win by a field goal. That's pick number 8. Pick number 9. Let's go down to Carolina with the Baltimore Ravens a -1.5 against the Carolina Panthers. Baltimore down to 4-3, lost a tough game to New Orleans. Missed extra point by Tucker, the first he's ever missed. That was a shocker. Carolina up to 4-2. Great comeback against Philadelphia. Give them a lot of credit. They came back, had a lot of adversity in that game, showed a lot of intestinal fortitude. That was a really good win by Carolina. I'm going to move the line to 7.5 here in a 2-team teaser. I get Carolina at home and 7.5. You have to think this game is going to be close. You have to think it's a coin flip game. Hard to pick the game, against the spread. So I'm going to move the line to 7.5. Like I said, you get the home team, you get 7.5. You got to feel good about that. I'll take Carolina. That's pick number 9. Pick number 10. Let's go out to Los Angeles where the LA Rams are -8.5 against the Green Bay Packers. Packers 3-2-1 off a bye week. Rams still undefeated, 7-0, just blew out San Francisco. Rams look like one of the best teams in football, if not the best team in football right now. I mean, to me, you got to move the line to 2.5 and take the Rams. The Rams keep covering for me. They keep winning. I keep going back on them. I got to think they're going to carve up that Green Bay defense. Green Bay will get their points too. You got to look over and under in this game. You got to look over as well. Tempting to take Green Bay with 14.5, but the Rams have been so good to me this year. I'm going to move it to 2.5 and say the Rams take care of business again. I don't think Green Bay has the defense to get it done in Los Angeles. I think the Rams are going to score a ton of points. Green Bay will get their points. I don't think they'll get enough, though. By the way, one thing, and I should have mentioned this last week, when Green Bay was playing on Monday Night Football against the San Francisco 49ers. First of all, the Monday Night Football crew, you got Tessitore, who thinks every game is the greatest game in the world. You got Witten on there, who's a rookie in the booth. That's a tough spot to have a rookie announcer on Monday Night Football. That's a really tough spot to put him in there. But then you got Booger McFarland, not in the booth. He's in like this catbird seat on the sidelines chiming in all the time. Rodgers was leading the comeback against the Niners in that game, which eventually Green Bay won. And Tessitore and Witten was saying, oh, Rodgers has been in this spot so many times. And here comes Booger McFarland saying, yeah, guys, Rodgers has been in this spot a lot of times, but so has the Niner defense. So is the Niner defense? Boogie, Booger, Mr. Boog. Slow down, my friend. Slow down. You're comparing the Niner defense to Aaron Rodgers, and not the Niner defense in the Bill Walsh era or the Seifert era, or even when Jim Harbaugh took them to the Super Bowl. You're comparing the Niner defense this year and the last few years, where the Niners have been awful, to Aaron Rodgers? How in the world do you make that comparison, Mr. Boog? How in the world do you make that comparison? Boogie, slow down. Slow down. And I know Monday Night Football is trying to reinvent the wheel, having him in that catbird seat, not in the booth. Slow down, Boogie. Come back to earth, Boog. The Niner defense you're comparing to Aaron Rodgers? Come back to earth, Boog. Anyway, I like the Rams there. That's pick number 10. Pick number 11, let's go to Arrowhead Stadium in Kansas City, where the Kansas City Chiefs are -10 against the Denver Broncos. Denver up to 3-4. They just whacked out Arizona. I mean, they just laid it on Arizona. That game was over in the first 5 minutes. So Denver, a much needed win. Kansas City up to 6-1. Blew out Cincinnati. The offense is unbelievable. This is a rookie quarterback we're talking about. I mean, they are putting up astonishing number of points every week. I mean, Kansas City already won in Denver. That was a close game. Kansas City found a way to win late. I'm going to move the line down to 4 and take the Chiefs. Their offense is so awesome. Denver, back-to-back road games. I mean, listen, they can beat Arizona all they want. Now, this is a different set of circumstances. It's a whole different kettle of fish going into Arrowhead and facing that Chief team. I'll take the Chiefs, move the line to 4. I think the Chiefs pull it out there. So that's pick number 11. Pick number 12. Let's go to Minneapolis, when the Minnesota Vikings are -1.5 against the New Orleans Saints. This is a must-watch game, one of the best games of the weekend. Two teams really trending upward. How about the Saints? 5-1. They've won 5 in a row. They go into Baltimore and win outright. I know they get a break with a missed extra point, but New Orleans is really showing me a lot. Really nice job by the Saints. Minnesota starting to put it together now. This is the Minnesota we thought we were going to see. How in the world did they lose at home to Buffalo? I'm going to be saying that the rest of the year. Minnesota up to 4-2-1, pulled away and beat the Jets. These are two solid teams. You expect both of these teams in the playoffs. You really do. This is a rematch from last year. The infamous, Hail Mary that Minnesota won on that miracle play. I'm going to move the line to 7.5 and think it's a field goal game either way. Could go either way. It's a toss-up game, just like the playoff game was last year. I think it's going to come down to the end. I'll take New Orleans plus 7.5 to at least keep it close. It's an impossible game to pick outright. I like both teams. I like what both teams are doing. Minnesota's putting some things together on offense. They got the receivers now. They get that running game cooking. Defense playing better. This is the Viking team we thought we were going to see at the beginning of the year when they struggled. Both teams doing a nice job. I'll take New Orleans plus 7.5. Field goal game either way. Pick number 13. Yeah! My bags are packed. I enjoyed Arizona so much last week that we're going right back to Arizona this week. My bags are packed. The Arizona Cardinals at home. -1 against the San Francisco 49ers. Niners down to 1-6, just got pasted by the Rams. Niners got all sorts of issues. Arizona 1-6, lost to Denver, and they didn't even show up. Totally unprofessional effort by the Arizona Cardinals at home on Thursday Night Football. They quit. This game was over in the first 5 minutes. Rosen threw a pick on, I think, the second play of the game. You could have turned your TV off right there. Interceptions all over the place. Rosen gets hurt. Swiss cheese defense. Denver, who struggled for a month, making big plays all over the field. Arizona checked out. Unprofessional football. This is an awful game. Arizona's only win was in San Francisco this year. My bags are packed. I can't wait for this one. Plenty of seats available right on the 50-yard line. I wouldn't go to this game. If they gave me a helmet and put me on the field. That's how bad this game is. This is an atrocious football game. If I have to pick it, I'll move the line to 7 and take the Niners, thinking it's just a slop fest, like 13-10. Couldn't tell you who's going to win this game. Like I said, Arizona did beat San Francisco in Santa Clara. This is a muddy, sloppy, ugly game. Let's move on. And here's an equally awful game. The last pick number 14. My bags are packed again. The Indianapolis Colts -2.5 at Oakland. Did you think you were going to say that at the beginning of the year? Colts up to 2-5, blew out Buffalo. Oakland down to 1-5. They are coming off a bye. Send Cooper to the Cowboys. Carr should play this week. The Raiders look like to me that they've already checked out of the season, and Gruden is now unloading everyone. He's just collecting draft picks. This is a complete rebuild in Oakland. It's all about Vegas now. I'll tell you, the Raiders got a hit on these draft picks. They're going to have a ton of them. They're giving up, they gave up Mack. They're giving up Cooper. I don't like what's going on with the Raiders at all right now. They are not playing hard for Gruden. They didn't show up against the Seahawks in London. Didn't show up against the Chargers the week before that. They're not playing hard. The whole vibe when they got rid of Mack really was a domino effect. The Raiders now are just unloading. Are the Raiders going to show up at all the rest of the year? I mean, I know the fans will show up the week before Halloween. Darth Vader, the Reaper, Chucky, Jason, Michael Myers, Kruger. They'll all be there. The guy in the gorilla costume. They're all going to be there in the end zone. You know that. But is the team going to show up? I mean, what happened to the Raiders? Remember just a couple years ago when they had all that mojo? And then Carr got hurt. They fired the coach. It's been all downhill. You think now when you get Gruden, you're going to have some life energized into this team. It's been a disaster. A disaster. Now, like I said, they're moving to a new stadium. They got a lot of draft picks. They're going to have to hit on these draft picks. The thing I don't like is how it looks like the team has quit already. It's only week 8. They look like they've checked out. How do you pick this game? I mean, when I first looked at this game, I said, oh, yeah, move the line and tease at 8.5. You got to take the Raiders. They had the Colts. I mean, come on, they're going to win again, blowing someone out. But the Raiders have checked out. So to me, this is a throwout game. If I had to play it, I'd move the line to 8.5, and I'd take a chance with the Raiders at home not getting blown out. But right now, the Colts are playing better. At 2-5, the Colts are playing a lot better than the Raiders at 1-5. At least the Colts are giving you an effort. The Raiders are giving you nothing. But to me, that's a throwout game. That's another bags of pack trip. I mean, what an awful football game. So that is those are the picks for week number 8. Doing very well in the NFL this year. Hope you guys are too. Stay happy, healthy, and safe. Pick a lot of winners. Make a lot of money. I'll be back with you guys Tuesday, the day before Halloween. Like I said, stay happy, healthy, and safe. Pick a lot of winners. Make a lot of money. Enjoy the games. I'll talk to you Tuesday. Take care.